Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC. I'm your host, Leandro Mada, and in this video what we're gonna see is how we can use the Modbus function block for Modbus serial communication using the controller M172. So let's go to the software. So in the previous video we saw all the things that we need to configure on the M172 to be the master in the communication. So here, just remember RS45-2 is the one that can be configured as slave and master. The other one is just a slave. So once this one is selected and have all the configurations, okay, then we should be able to go to the programming and start using this function block. So if you are using the latest version of the softwares, .5 and .6, then the project libraries, in the library tree, you should be able to see all these function blocks. Okay, so in order to understand what this function block means, okay, you can open the property windows. So project, now view, here to Windows, select property windows. Then when you select the function, it will tell you what it does. Okay, so what we can do now is to first check the connection that we're going to have with the other device. In my case, I'm going to use the Modicon M171, so we can read and write information to it. Now, I'm going to open the EcoStruxure Machine Expert Basic, which is a source for the M171, so I can show you what I'm doing. Okay, it's opening the other window. So if everything is right, I'm going to log into this controller and take the information on it. Let's have a look. So one is connected. There we go. So I'm going to upload the program from the actual PLC. Okay. So what we need to do is to check on the serial line how is the configuration. So in this particular case, let me just disconnect. So this is the configuration of the slave 192.19200 even 81 RS45. Is configured as a slave and it has the address 10. Okay, so this is the information, the base information that we need in order to use Modbus serial. So I'm going to connect once again just to validate that everything is fine. So here, this one has like created for another project, like a database or the information where I need to take information. So I'm going to use these 5 registers to read information from the M221 and this one to write information. Okay, so if everything is fine, should be able to communicate and there is no issue at all. So going back to the M172. So these are the function blocks, so we need to use them. Something important here when you use the function blocks is this. So let's go here. If you pay attention on the errors that we can have, one of the errors is this function not executed due to try to call in a time. So in order to use these Modbus function blocks, we need to use in a different task that is not the time. So if you create a project and put it over here, it's not going to work. You will have this alarm. So what we need to do is to call the functions inside a task called inside a POU that is called in the background. So here, add new program. I'm going to use FPD. So it's going to be Modbus serial, and call it in the background. Okay. So now that we have this, let's try to read information from the device. So this one is the FC03 function Modbus 3. So this one will allow me to read holding registers. Okay, but depending on the model function that you need, then it's a different block that we need to use. Okay, so I'm going to use this one for reading and 16 for writing. Okay, information. So this is going to put over here. Okay, I usually add the enable input and enable output so I can indicate when to execute this. Okay, I don't like to do it all the time. And then I'm going to add another network and add the number 16, which is for writing holding register, multiple registers. So enable, and that's it. So going to create two variables, like CMD read, like CMD writing. Okay. Now, the address is going to be the address of the device that we want to communicate with. So what I can do is to use, for example, which is the address. We can set this on, for example, so let's do it a little bit much better. So it's going to be CFG slave address. Okay, and in my case, the default is going to be 10. Okay, then go back and see. So base is going to be the initial position where I'm going to take information or write information to. Okay, so as you saw in the M251, this is going to be my initial position, NW50 for reading, and this one is going to be for writing. Once I have that, okay, I need to use the number. How many registers, contiguous registers, are going to read from here? So in this case, I'm going to read 5. So this one we can use a static number 5, a fixed number, or you can use a variable to define this. Okay, in this case, I'm going to leave it as fixed value. Okay, the other thing is the timeout. So the timeout is in milliseconds. So if you want a timeout of 3 seconds, just need to multiply multiply by 3 the seconds. So if I want 3 seconds, it's going to be 3000, and this one's going to be 3002. Now for the information, this object, it changed a little bit. Okay, we need to do something extra. But first, let's go here and add the address. So we can compile this. It will generate the variable that we want. Here, EPROM, and we just put it over here. Okay, it's good. Now, this variable, once it's executed, it gives us a uint. So uint com read. So it's going to be uint. Oops. Right. So I need to put this over here just to know if we have a problem or not with the system. Now, here is a pointer to int. We need to create an array of variables so the block knows where to read and write information from our PLC and then put the data on the other place. So what we need to do is to create an array. So it's going to be like an array buffer for reading. So this is going to be int, Here the array is going to be from 0 to the number that you need. So I'm going to do 4 because the size is 5 and I have 5 resistors. And I'm going to create another one for our buffer right int. I'm using int because I have this. So for this we have different ways to do it. So you can use this expression. So you can use the ADR buffer RD. Okay, or this is what I usually do. You can use the ADR function block. I believe it's in here. ADR, drag and drop, connect, oops, space, space. There we go. And here you can assign this. Okay, so these are the two ways to doing it. Okay, so if you saw the video that I have done for the Texas Island integration with the M172, you saw that I have done a few more things here in order to check, and I have like a sequence of execution done in the structured text. So now that this is done, I believe it's going to be time to connect to the controller and download the configuration. So I'm going to save this. Now we're going to connect to the controller. In order to connect, set up communication. I'm going to use Ethernet 172. Okay. Okay, and connect. Yes. This means is the M172 is the right controller. The thing is that I haven't updated the firmware yet. Yes. So now that I'm going to be connected to this controller, let me just show you that I connected to it. There we go. It's not going to work as expected if you just go to download PLC code. Okay. When you have made a modification on the configuration related to communication, then the best would be to do a download all, as I'm going to do now. So let's make a full download. Just wait for it to finish. So it generates the files that I need in order to set this as a master. It's downloading. Yes, just the Ethernet parameter will not override, so I can connect later. Yes, please reboot it. Just waiting for this one to go back. So if we go here, try to ping the device. Ping 192.168.172. Okay, seems to be back alive. So we can try to connect. Yeah. It says source okay and connected. So now we should be able to go here and try to read the device. So what I'm going to do is to put things on the watch so we can try to connect. So as you can see here, I have the value 10, which is the fault I have already defined. And as you can see, I had done something wrong here. I haven't put this on array. You need to tell me I'm doing the things wrong. So going to download this. It doesn't matter in this case to make a full download because the full download has already done with the configuration that I want, and this is the change on the PLC. So now I'm going to put this back here. So if we go here to light debug mode, I can execute this. And you can see here, I'm reading something from the PLC, the M172, from the M221. And I'm reading this information. Now, something very important, you can see here, I'm reading all the information. So let's delete this. So percentage M W 45. I'm going to put 30 registers. Okay. So want to pay attention to this. The MW49, okay. I'm reading the MW49 over here, okay. And this may happen to you. But it says I'm trying to read the MW50 while I'm reading the other one. Well, on Modbus sometimes it starts base 0, base 1, or just need to try it here sometimes if you don't read the manual. So sometimes, depending on the systems, if you are trying to point the MW50, it's the MW50 and there is nothing else to do. Sometimes you just need to subtract one or add one to the register that you want. So in this particular case, if I want to read the MW50, okay, I just need to add one to this. So let's disconnect 51. I'm going to use the 61. And this may happen to you if you are using different systems. That's why I put the M172 over here, the M221 over here. There we go. So now, after adding one to the register over here, I'm just reading the right information. So if you go back here, you can see now I'm going to use the one, pop, and it's changing the information. Okay, so here you can see this one is always in true. So if I put this in 0, I go back here, and if I change the number, it's not reading it. It's fine because I disabled it. Okay, and there is no error at all. I usually don't leave it always in true. So what I have is here targets, target blocks. Here, when you go to one of these ones, you can see here, after you execute it, and if there is no error, you have 0. But if there is any other thing, okay, it means that there is an error and you abort this. So you execute it and wait for this to finish. Okay, that is what I usually do. Okay, so let's go back now to the writing. So right now, let's have a look. I already add one to the address, which is fine. Now, what I want to do is to, so imagine that I have already a working system and it has 7, 8, 4, 5, 7, 1, 1, 89, 99. So as soon as, in theory, okay, if I select this one to write, it will overwrite this information with the information I have here, which is 0. So let's have a look what's going on. Set, no error, so seems that something has been done. And you can see everything is 0. And if I select this and change, it changed, okay, because I'm writing from the other system. So if I change over here, 7, 8, 9, and you know what I'm doing. Here you can see they had 7, 8, 9. And that's it basically. So this is how you can use the function blocks, which is easy. Okay, you just need to put the function blocks in there and probably check the sequence, which is fine, and then that's it. Basically, what you need to check and understand is that depending on the register that you're trying to read and write from the other device, is the right function block that you need to use. Okay, that information can be seen over here when you go to the properties. So based on the, there we go. So based on the function block selected, then you can see that I have coil, I have input register, I have holding register, multiple registers to read. So this is the information that you need to take care, okay? Because based on this is the function block that you need to use. And it's important here to define the array for the buffer that the function block is going to use, and use the pointer. Okay, you can use the ADR function block, or you can use the expression. Okay, this is the two different ways to work with it. Okay, so in order to, if you don't know what this means, okay, you have always here the explanation what's going on. Okay, and if you get the number 17, it means that you have put this PUU on the time when it should be on the background. Okay, so this is how you can use the Modbus serial function blocks in a Modicon M172 performance or optimize with display or without display. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.